Rasheeda and Kirk Frost have had many highs and lows, but nobody anticipated this. The internet is ablaze with rumors after a startling incident that pushed followers into a frenzy. According to witnesses, Kirk lost all control, resulting in a horrifying attack that left Rasheeda feeling scared. According to individuals close to the marriage, what began as a furious quarrel swiftly turned into something far more serious. Reactions on social media are booming, and everyone is calling for clarification. This time, did Kirk truly go too far? Why was this moment so explosive? Above all, how is Rasheeda doing following this experience? Supporters are split. Some are standing up for Kirk, while others are demanding harsh penalties. Despite the couple's troubled past, this incident has the potential to completely alter their relationship. Watch as we reveal the whole tale, including what transpired behind closed doors, the reactions of their closest friends and family, and potential ramifications for Kirk and Rasheeda's future. This scandal is too crazy to ignore, so grab some popcorn. For Kirk Frost and Rasheeda, it began as just another night. But nobody could have imagined how rapidly things would go out of hand. The pair had been fighting behind closed doors for weeks, according to witnesses, but this time, things took a sinister and surprising turn. According to others close to the marriage, tensions had been rising for some time before erupting on this specific evening. The dispute began as one of those minor arguments that couples have on a daily basis, but it quickly grew out of control and into a full-fledged verbal duel. Known for her ability to remain composed, Rasheeda initially attempted to defuse the situation. Given that they were in public, she didn't want things to go out of control. Kirk, though, he refused to accept it. Too much of his rage had been brewing beneath the surface, and now it was all exploding. He was pacing back and forth, according to witnesses, his voice getting louder by the second. When Rasheeda realized that things were getting serious, she attempted to leave, but Kirk wasn't finished. With an angry expression on his face, he blocked her path and began his tirade. Those in their immediate vicinity have begun to take notice. Others spoke in low voices, stunned by what they were seeing, while others took out their phones to record the intense exchange. This was not your typical marital dispute. Rather, it was something more. The tension in the air was palpable, and the expression in Kirk's eyes chilled everyone in the room. Then it took place. Kirk struck out in a fit of wrath. Although the specifics of what transpired next are still up for debate, one thing is certain: Rasheeda was shocked. As the throng struggled to comprehend what they had just witnessed, there was a gasp. Rasheeda staggered back, her expression a mixture of hurt and incredulity. It never occurred to her that Kirk would truly go too far in this way. He had always been careless and prone to losing control of his emotions, but this was not like the others. It was a personal matter. She knew they would never be able to recover from this. "Yo, Kirk, what the hell, man?" yelled someone in the throng right away. Others hurried forward, some to confront Kirk and others to console Rasheeda. However, the harm had already been done. Minutes after the cameras began to roll, the video began to circulate on social media. Hashtags such as #ProtectRasheeda and #KirkFrostExposed quickly became popular. People were demanding that Kirk be held responsible and were furious and appalled. Rasheeda was still trying to take it all in as she returned to the scene. She was breathing in short, irregular gasps, her hands trembling as she groped for her phone. She had to leave, had to figure out how to get away from the mayhem all around her. Kirk, though, he remained standing there, staring at her with an unreadable face. For a brief moment, it appeared as though he wanted to undo all he had done and regretted it. But that moment was over as fast as it had come. His jaw tensed and he turned and strode away, vanishing into the night without saying another word. But the matter was far from resolved. Rasheeda's closest friends had already been informed, and they had no intention of overlooking this. One of Kirk's longtime friends, Scrappy, was among the first to learn of the incident and promptly called Kirk. The exchange was passionate, angry, and full of profanity. "Dude, what the devil is wrong with you? Have you truly gone insane?" Scrappy's voice was angry and full of incredulity. Kirk, though, he had no desire to converse. He hung up after hardly acknowledging what Scrappy had said. Rasheeda, meanwhile, was inconsolable at home. In an attempt to make sense of what had just transpired, she had shut herself in her bedroom, cut off from the world. Her phone was constantly vibrating with texts from fans. friends, and family. The messages were coming in. While some demanded answers, others offered comfort. Additionally, the media sources were already covering the story and portraying Kirk as the antagonist. Was there more to the tale, though? According to several insiders, Kirk has been under a lot of strain lately, juggling personal issues, professional setbacks, and a mounting sense of animosity. Had he finally lost it because of all that? Or had he simply turned into a man who let his rage to overwhelm him to the point of irreparability? Rasheeda became aware that this was more than a single night as she sat there and looked at the headlines. This was all about it. The years of treachery, the many times she had forgiven him, and the expectation that she would keep things together while he did as he pleased. It had now reached this point. A humiliation in public. She would always remember that moment. What she would do next, however, was still the actual question. Would she leave for good at last? Would she file a complaint? Or would Kirk somehow manage to twist this so that it didn't look as horrible as people were portraying it? The entire globe was observing, anticipating her next move. She had no idea that the storm was just getting started. The pandemonium surrounding Kirk and Rasheeda's startling argument only got worse as the night went on. Reactions on social media had already surged, and news sources quickly picked up the story. By midnight, it had been covered by almost all of the big gossip blogs, each of which added additional details to the controversy. Kirk's comment area became a battleground of indignation as fans showered Rasheeda's Instagram with supportive words. Rasheeda, however, was unable to react as the world conjectured. She had withdrawn into her bedroom and cut herself off from everyone while she tried to come to terms with what had happened. Calls from friends, texts from her team, and even messages from people she hadn't spoken to in years kept vibrating on her phone. However, she was unable to answer. It was impossible to cope with the reality of what had transpired. Kirk, meantime, had disappeared. He had become utterly silent after storming off, rejecting any calls and not talking to anyone. Not even his closest buddies knew his location. Some conjectured that he had hidden away in a hotel someplace in an attempt to evade the criticism. Others said he was planning, trying to figure out how to manipulate the situation before it worsened. In any event, his silence simply made matters worse. Then, as like the drama wasn't already at its height, a fresh development surfaced. A big gossip site received stunning charges from an unidentified source who claimed to be close to Kirk. They said that Kirk had lost control in this way before, but this was the first time it had been captured on tape. According to the insider, Kirk's rage has erupted in private, out of the spotlight, on many occasions in the past. In order to preserve their reputation, they claimed that Rasheeda had often covered for him by offering justifications and ignoring the situation. The internet was rocked by the discovery. Already, fans were furious, but now, everything altered as a result. All of a sudden, people were questioning every aspect of their relationship rather than just criticizing Kirk for a single episode. All this time, had Rasheeda been suffering in silence? Did anyone realize how deadly Kirk was? By the minute, the supposition became more fanciful. Old love and hip-hop video that showed Rasheeda looking obviously uncomfortable and Kirk raising his voice at her reappeared. They analyzed every previous dispute and heated conversation in an attempt to find evidence that this had been simmering for years. Using the hashtag #FreeRasheeda, some supporters even launched a campaign calling for Rasheeda to permanently leave Kirk. Rasheeda, however, was still attempting to determine what to do next while the internet worked to piece everything together. She had defended Kirk for years, even after he had previously made fun of her. She had forgiven the incessant insults, the betrayals, and the scandals of adultery. However, this was not like the others. This was more than a simple betrayal. This was not something she could ignore. One of the first people to contact her was Candy Burris, her best friend. Being the one to give Rasheeda the harsh realities, Candy had always been protective of her. And it was the same this time. Candy stated firmly, "Listen to me, Rasheeda. This cannot be tolerated. This is no longer just about you and Kirk. The entire globe is observing." Rasheeda rubbed her temples and moaned. "Candy, I understand. You don't comprehend, though. It's over if I go public and say anything. Everything we have worked so hard to build is gone." Candy gave a head shake. "Girl, the moment he touched you, it was gone." Rasheeda felt the impact of that sentence like a ton of bricks. She had persuaded herself for years that they would be all right as long as she could maintain her composure and keep the drama private. However, hiding was no longer an option. The world was aware already. She too had a decision to make. Even though Kirk was still hiding, people were still making an effort to find him. There were rumors that he had been seen drinking excessively and pretending nothing had happened at a bar in Atlanta. To make matters worse, others even said he had been spotted with another woman. Was he truly that indifferent? Was he indifferent to the harm he had done? Then, when it appeared that things couldn't get much worse, a voicemail that had been leaked came to light. A voice message that Kirk had supposedly delivered to a buddy soon after the incident had been obtained by someone. He seemed angry and frustrated on the recording, but not himself. No, Rasheeda was the one he blamed. Kirk could be heard stating, "Man, she pushed me to this. She has the ability to irritate me. And she's playing the victim now. No, I will not allow that to occur." The response was instantaneous. People were incensed. Kirk was attempting to portray himself as the true victim rather than accept responsibility. The retaliation was severe and quick. Even famous people began to criticize him for his actions. "There is no justification for what Kirk did," Tamar Braxton tweeted. "Nothing. Rasheeda is worthy of better." Stars from love and hip-hop and other genres weighed in, while others did the same. Rasheeda, however, said nothing as the indignation increased. She was aware that everything would depend on what she said next. She would be permanently divorced from Kirk if she spoke out against him. She couldn't allow it to happen, though, because if she said nothing, people would think she was defending him. She had made up her mind by the following morning. She grabbed her phone, inhaled deeply, and pressed the Go Live button on Instagram. Thousands of people flocked to the screen as soon as her face appeared, eager to hear her words. Her voice was calm, but her hands were shaking a little. With tears in her eyes, she said, "I know you all have a lot of questions. Additionally, I wish I could tell you that all of the things you've heard are false. However, it isn't. Kirk, he went too far. I also can't act as though it never happened." Supporting messages flooded the chat, but Rasheeda wasn't finished. She inhaled deeply as she collected her thoughts. "I have supported this man for years. I've tried to find the positive aspects of him, I've forgiven him, and I've stood up for him. However, this was not like the others." She concluded the live stream by saying, "And I don't know what happens next. But I do know one thing, I'm done protecting someone who wouldn't do the same for me." In an instant, the internet crashed once more. The internet went completely crazy as Rasheeda's Instagram Live ended. Within minutes, videos of her shaking voice went viral on TikTok and Twitter, and her heartfelt statement was shared on all of the big blogs. Soon after, fans and other celebrities started to support Rasheeda by using the hashtag #WestEndWithRasheeda. Rasheeda was the face of resiliency for the first time in her career, not just a reality TV personality embroiled in yet another crisis. While admiring her courage for speaking up at last, fans were also worried about what might happen next. Would she go to court to get a divorce? Would Kirk answer? And, above all, would she be secure? Kirk, meantime, had not been located. There were no postings, no stories, nothing on his Instagram. This was not like him. Usually, he would respond quickly to any controversy by clapping back, posting cryptic remarks, or attempting to slant the story in his favor. His silence, however, was deafening this time. That silence, though, was short-lived. A popular gossip website published an exclusive report just hours after Rasheeda's live. People close to Kirk said that he was incensed with Rasheeda's handling of the situation. Kirk was apparently telling his buddies that she had exaggerated everything to make him appear terrible, rather than offering an apology or accepting responsibility. Additionally, he asserted that she was playing the victim because she was aware that the public would support her. Fans were even more incensed at the ridiculousness of these assertions. People began researching all of Kirk's previous scandals, including his years of adultery and the notorious time he surreptitiously tested their son's DNA without Rasheeda's knowledge. A specific clip from Love and Hip Hop that showed Kirk advising Rasheeda to have an abortion when she was pregnant reappeared. That proved Kirk had never really respected her. According to the internet, social media was inundated with threads, TikToks, and memes detailing Kirk's destructive behavior, and followers were urging Rasheeda to cut him off entirely. Then, however, the internet revealed yet another startling development. A purportedly recorded security camera video from the night of the brawl appeared online. It looked like Kirk and Rasheeda were fighting outside a restaurant in the blurry video that was anonymously uploaded to a celebrity gossip portal. As Rasheeda attempted to get away, Kirk was seen in the video violently gripping her arm. He lifted his hand as though to strike her a few seconds later, but the video ended before it could verify that he had actually made contact. The video went viral right away. Horrified, fans demanded that Kirk be permanently canceled. Others even began urging legal action, arguing that Rasheeda ought to get a restraining order against him. However, Kirk remained hidden while the public was incensed, until he eventually spoke up. Kirk refuted everything in an Instagram video that was badly shot and of terrible quality. "I know you've been hearing a lot of crazy things about me, but let me set the record straight. First off, I love my wife," he said, clearly under stress. People removing video from context, distorting the facts, and attempting to discredit a black man are things I would never do to Rasheeda. I made mistakes, of course. Kirk attempted to explain himself by claiming that Rasheeda was emotional when she appeared on live and that the altercation was exaggerated. However, this is not what y'all think it is. He said that people were attempting to paint him as the villain and that the surveillance footage was deceptive. However, nobody was buying it. Supporters poured into the comments, accusing him of being a narcissist, a manipulator, and a liar. Not even famous people were holding back. "Ain't no out of context. You got caught. Take accountability like a grown man," Tokyo Vanity said. "We're not going to fall for it," Masika Kalisha wrote, typical. Gaslighting 101. Even Tamar Braxton, who had already spoken out, called Kirk out once more live on Instagram. "For me, it's the arrogance. Are you really going to sit here and pretend that no one saw you grab that woman? Bye, boy." The damage was already done. Kirk's reputation took a total hit. He had simply made matters worse by trying to manage the damage. Rasheeda, meantime, was still attempting to decide what to do next. In addition to the pressure from the public, producers were calling her behind the scenes to ask whether she would be willing to talk about the incident on Love and Hip Hop. The network wanted to take advantage of this controversy since they knew it would generate a lot of viewers. However, Rasheeda wasn't sure if she wanted to do it for the first time in a long time. Her real life was collapsing in front of the world. It was no longer just a reality TV show. Her relatives and acquaintances were split as well. Some were pressuring her to permanently leave Kirk, including Candy Burris. She was being advised by others, including some of their mutual friends, to give major decisions significant thought. Everyone's main concern was whether Rasheeda would eventually leave Kirk. Then, another shocking revelation. According to a startling court record that was posted online, Rasheeda had previously spoken with a divorce attorney a few days prior to the incident. If this was accurate, it would indicate that their marriage was already experiencing significant problems prior to this public outburst. Supporters instantly conjectured that the altercation started because Kirk had learned of Rasheeda's intention to leave him. According to some fans' theories, Kirk reacted angrily because he realized he was losing control of Rasheeda. Some questioned whether Rasheeda had been plotting her escape all along or if this was her last straw. However, Rasheeda hadn't verified or denied anything while the internet disputed. What she was going to do next was a total mystery. Everyone was aware that a significant event was imminent. Would Kirk manage to persuade her to stay, or would she ultimately break things up for good? The world was waiting for her response, and it would not be long before she provided it. The internet was ablaze with hypotheses as the rumors that Rasheeda had sought legal advice from a divorce lawyer spread like wildfire. Supporters were divided. Some believed that Kirk and Rasheeda's relationship was over, while others were afraid she would still give him another opportunity. However, Rasheeda was taking action in silence as speculative activity dominated social media. She went totally off the grid for the following few days. No cryptic tweets, no Instagram lives, no posts, nothing. Fans waited impatiently for her to speak, but she said nothing. Kirk, meantime, was keeping quiet to prevent any more criticism. However, the harm was already done. Companies that had previously collaborated with him began to distance themselves. Inconspicuously, a significant endorsement contract with a men's fashion business vanished from his biography. His name was even taken off of promotional materials by the Frost Bistro's management, which he and Rasheeda jointly owned. Kirk was now losing everything, including his business, his reputation, and perhaps even his marriage. Then the last bombshell came out. According to a recent tip from a reliable industry source, VH1 management were thinking about severing their relationship with Kirk permanently. According to reports, the network was incensed by the unfavorable exposure he was giving to love and hip-hop. The insider claimed that producers had been frantically trying to decide how to proceed with Kirk's plot. Although reality TV was always driven by drama, claims of violence generated debate on a different level. The network didn't want to be linked to a controversy of that nature. Initially, there were discussions about removing Kirk from upcoming episodes, but as the criticism increased, it became evident that Kirk's tenure on the program may be permanently terminated. The biggest shock, though, according to the same story, Rasheeda was being offered a solo spin-off show that would center on her life after Kirk, her enterprises, and her experiences navigating the entertainment industry as a single woman. Fans were enthralled with the concept. They were already demanding that Kirk be dismissed, and the prospect of Rasheeda succeeding without him just made matters worse. The world paused to listen when Rasheeda finally spoke up before any of this could be verified. She only uploaded one image on Instagram after she got back, a monochromatic picture of herself standing by herself in front of a mirror. What was her caption? It only took that, yet that's all she wrote. New beginnings. The internet took off. In just a few hours, the post received millions of likes, and celebrities and fans flooded the comments with encouraging remarks. Sarah said, "Sis, you got this." Gabrielle Union wrote, "I'm proud of you. Keep shining. Walk in your power." Even Cardi B, who had been a longtime fan of Rasheeda, left a comment, "About time." The world was clearly on Rasheeda's side. "We have been waiting for you to take charge. Love you, Queen." Then the most startling action of all occurred. Rasheeda formally filed for divorce from Kirk Frost later that night, according to a court record that was posted online. This was no longer merely a rumor. This actually happened. Citing irreconcilable differences and a pattern of emotional and physical distress in the marriage, the papers disclosed that she had filed shortly after the confrontation. She was also requesting complete authority over their joint assets and exclusive ownership of their enterprises, according to the document. Put differently, Rasheeda wasn't simply abandoning Kirk. Everything was going with her. Supporters cheered. People had been pleading with Rasheeda to leave Kirk for years, and now she was doing so. However, what about Kirk? To this final betrayal, how would he react? Finding out didn't take long. Kirk went live on Instagram a few hours after the divorce file was released, and he appeared desperate, irate, and frustrated. "Dude, you guys actually believe I'm the villain. After everything I accomplished for her and everything we created together, do you really think I deserve all of this?" He then pleaded with Rasheeda to change his mind, stating, "You really gonna throw away everything we had? I made mistakes, yeah, but this is cold. We should be stronger than this, man. Over what? Some internet bullshit." However, nobody was buying it. Fans harshly criticized him for playing the victim in the comments section. "It's not Kirk trying to gaslight us after years of disrespect," one person said. Another said, "He wants to cry now? Where was this energy when he was cheating?" But Rasheeda's own response was possibly the most brutal. She shared a video of herself sitting in a car, grinning, and listening to Beyoncé's Irreplaceable on her Instagram story shortly after Kirk's live finished. She was done, and the message was quite obvious. By this time, Kirk was done. He had nothing left except regrets because his attempts to repair the harm had only made it worse. Rasheeda, meanwhile, was doing well. She began appearing alone at industry gatherings, appearing happier and more certain than before. She even opened up about her decision to leave Kirk in an exclusive interview with a prominent Hollywood magazine. Believing in love kept me here for a long time. But eventually, you'll need to have more faith in yourself. That comment became a potent message for women in toxic relationships as soon as it went viral. A final surprise was still pending, though. As everyone celebrated Rasheeda's new chapter, a strange woman who claimed to have been Kirk's covert side chick for the previous 2 years stepped forward just when everyone believed the drama was finished. She revealed everything in an exclusive interview, including how Kirk had been surreptitiously moving behind Rasheeda's back despite feigning to be a loving husband. He informed me that he was simply waiting for the proper moment to leave her. But he's playing the victim now that she left him first. Please. The last nail in Kirk's coffin was this startling discovery. His reputation was ruined, and he was formally canceled by the world. What about Rasheeda? She was thriving. She had secured her enterprises, finalized her divorce, and was now living her best life, free from Kirk's burden. Millions of people were inspired by her journey from a lady trapped in a bad marriage to a self-reliant powerhouse. And it was evident from the rumors circulating about her new reality TV program that Rasheeda's next chapter was just getting started. However, what are your thoughts? Was leaving Kirk the best decision for Rasheeda? Is Kirk attempting to save face, or do you think his version of events is credible? Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive updates on all the greatest celebrity drama, and leave your thoughts in the comments section. One of the most startling scandals to ever hit the love and hip-hop industry is right there. Rasheeda. Kirk Frost's demise is playing out right in front of us. At last, she is taking charge of her life. However, this tale is far from over. What are your thoughts? Was it wise for Rasheeda to break up contact with Kirk? Or do you believe that this drama is more complex than what we've seen? Leave a comment below with your opinions. Remember, this is only the beginning. Things are going to get even more complicated with rumors of Kirk's extramarital affairs, his job in danger of collapsing, and Rasheeda's potential new TV contract. Make sure to click the subscribe button and enable post notifications if you don't want to miss a moment of the action. Additionally, it greatly helps if you hit the like button if you liked this in-depth look at the drama. We'll be back with even more exclusive information on your favorite reality TV stars, so stay tuned. Until the next time, be honest, be messy, and keep an eye out for the next shocking turn.